Yo, what is up folks, TrevorCG here with a very exciting deck for you. This is Rakdos Heroic, or Rakdos Aggro if you like, and this deck has like kind of jumped up and exploded onto the scene in Pioneer and Explorer, which is the MTG Arena equivalent that we'll be looking at today. It is a Giganta deck, cool, let's get out of the way first, but it revolves around Heartfire Hero, along with Monastery Swift Spear, kind of your usual mono red cards, but in particular, Heartfire Hero and Slickshot Show Off, and their ability to get bigger when you target them, like Heroic. And Callous Sellsword. Black red for a 2/2, but what we're really interested in is the Burn Together ability. So for a single red mana, target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to any other target, then sacrifice it. The idea here being that you attack with your Heartfire Hero, after casting some pump spells like Monstrous Rage, Titan Strength. It deals damage, you then say, hey, I'm going to deal damage to you because of its power, and in particular with Heartfire Hero, when you sacrifice it, you trigger the other half of the ability. So Heartfire Hero, when it dies, it does damage equal to its power to each opponent. So like with Slingshot Show Off, this is more of a fling effect. But with Heartfire Hero, you can, like, a couple of spells, a couple of these like +3 effects, and all of a sudden you're just doming your opponent for their entire life total, which is very, very powerful. Around that, we have like a mono red aggro deck, and we also take advantage of some of the other cards from black as well. There are sideboard options that you can play. We'll be playing best of one today, but I will run through this in a moment. And one of the things that kind of like carries over from the old kind of Mardu Heroic deck is Claim to Fame. It brings back both Heartfire Hero and Slingshot Show Off, and then also that Fame ability from the graveyard, just like an extra spell there, which is obviously great with both of these, and can target it. Awesome. Some other nice like tech pieces. We've got Dreadhorde Arcanist up here to recur spells from the graveyard, to get even more spells targeting in onto our creatures. And then lastly, Emberheart Challenger, Haste Prowess. So when it becomes a target with spell ability, you attack on the top card. Unless you dig through your deck, find more stuff to play. Really, really awesome. So this black-red Heroic Shell. So there's some new cards here. The ones that I didn't go through, Monstrous Spear, Heartfire Hero, one alongside Kimono Face Kakazan. Just like it has turned out to be just one of the best red cards printed in recent times. 2 Arcanists, 4 Challenger, 4 Slickshot. Obviously, all of these come back with Claim to Fame, and then 3 Callous Sellsword. We talked about the Burn Together ability, but also it ends the battlefield with some sort of counter in it for each creature that died this turn under your control. Generally, you're using it for the first ability, because it's a bit narrow there. We're only playing 3 copies. I thought about playing like a version with 4 for this video, but this list actually went 10-0 in the Pioneer Challenge last weekend. So I thought, hey, I'm just going to copy this spell for spell, give you the best possible version of the deck, or the best performing version of the deck. And yeah, the spells that we're targeting, I talked about Monstrous Rage. Obviously, this has also become a staple. +2/+0, get a monster roll token that gives trample. Super key, super important. You've got Titan Strength for +3/+1, and you also get that Scry ability. Neat. 2 copies of Reckless Rage, kind of similar to the Heroic decks evolved. 4 damage to target creature you control. You don't control. And 2 damage to target creature you control. Nice interaction for creatures. Grease Fang, which is kind of like showing back up again, that kind of thing. And then the new card from Bloomburrow, Might of the Meek. Target creature gets trample. So you've got 7 ways to trample in the deck. And then +1/+0 in turn if you control a mouse. Okay, neat. Like the Heartfire Hero. And you get the draw a card cantrip on there as well. Super solid. Giganta backup plan. Mana base, like, hey, 4 Silver Springs, 4 Blood Crypt. We can hurt ourselves a little bit. Pathway, 4 Cliffs, 1 Sekenzen, 2 Ramnut Ruins, 1 Den of the Bugbear. 2 basic mountains, then I've left to last the 1 copy of Rockface Village. It's a land, but you can use it to target Lizard, Mouse, Otter, or Raccoon you control to get +1/+0 and haste on a turn. Activate only as a sorcery. Now, obviously, you can use this to give a creature haste, but you can also use it just to get +1/+0 and the trigger ability for targeting. Particularly important with Heartfire Hero. It's pretty nice with the Emberheart Challenger. Both these Valiant abilities you can trigger using the land if you're kind of like left with nothing else to do. And obviously being able to give them haste when they come into play, nice as well. Notably, because these all target like different creature types. It doesn't target birds for Slickshot. But hey, I don't think there are any other like niche things that you can kind of. No, this is an elk. Sure. But yeah, it's a cool one. It doesn't let you, unfortunately, cast red spells off of it, which means there's only space for 1 in the deck, and it can be a little bit of a liability, but I'm going to roll with it. I will go through the sideboard. Like I said, we're going to be playing it best of 1. There are 4 copies of Thoughtseize that kind of split between top and the bottom here. 4 copies of Fatal Push. One of the nice things here is that like the Heroic deck doesn't want to sideboard a ton. The Thoughtseizes are good in one end of the matchups on the spectrum. The Fatal Pushes are good in the other. Really nice there. Usually, okay, cool. I'll sort of 4 cards out for these. I'll 4 cards out for these. We have 2 copies of Unlicensed Source, which is Graveyard stuff, Grease Fang. Some of the sacrifice bits and pieces with a cat and other cat. There's a single copy of an Decklist, a single copy of a Flowstone Infusion, which is just a nice one because it doubles as both a pump spell and a removal spell. You can bring it in versus it's a removal spell you can board in while like kind of like trimming down your targeting spells versus like other red decks with lots of interaction and removal. The third Reckless Rage, and then one Hazard here, which is a cool spicy one. Really nice, but struggles versus some of the like XL Wrath of the format. It's a interesting slot, but I've left this 100% as is. This is the same as the 10 Pioneer Challenge deck. We're going to hop into some best of one ranked. If you're not ready, please do subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate that. I've got a couple more decks I'd like to try and cover before Dustmore comes out, including one timeless Hollow One list I've kind of been inspired with like Nethergoyf, which would be pretty sweet if you're interested in timeless stuff. I have a couple more things with Explorer, with Black Green, and some other bits pieces, but of course with Dustmore coming out, there's going to be a bunch of new cards to play with and talk about as well. So hey, let's get into some matches. Alright, first match here with the Rakdos deck. We've got Unkept. We have Commanders turn 1. That means a Heartful Hero starts out life as a 2-2, which means it's going to get more guaranteed damage on it. We get this flipped early. Makes sense. It does lead to some interesting sequencing, so we do have the Hammer Heart challenges. Maybe with to sandbag this. But we can get some more information based on what our opponent's playing. One is on one. Sorry, my client's being a little slow today. Barber Canal, it definitely looks like Phoenix. There's always like a slight chance that it's not, but yeah, more often than not, you'd expect to see it. Claim's interesting. It means we can recycle kind of what we play, not worry too much about getting something killed. Because they have one as a sorcerer in the graveyard, they have to use 2 if they want a Fiery Impulse, a 3/3 Ember Heart Challenger, so this makes the most sense, I think. Make them tap out if they want to kill this. Some fast damage early. Okay, Prof to go is interesting. Alright, we hit a third land, which is great. If we had a way to get this in the graveyard, I guess we can use both. We just want to get as many creatures in play as possible, I think, given the situation. So, gonna make a Heartfire Hero. And hopefully we have this all wrapped up. Even through some interaction, they're in a pretty troubled spot here. They still don't actually have Spell Mastery online. So I'm going to consider, they get their trigger. They get to move to combat and activate Prof to put some counters here, but they are pretty done. Yeah. Yeah. Alright, cool. Alright, a very quick merge one, so let's come back with another one. One lander. Yeah, gonna get rid of this. Right on the plane, a companion. You see. Pretty straightforward, just put that back. Alright. Sacrifice. Can be tough if we don't find a way to get trample. The Commandos is obviously a massive help. With the flip side, exiling creatures dealt damage by sources I control. But if they have a whichever in the moon, pretty rough spot anyway. Though that being said, yeah, we just make two of these. But like, not that like we could have gone Challenger here, but because we have the Sellsword, getting a big Heartfire Hero is definitely a pretty surefire way to victory. Need to work out which way exactly. So if they have a Deadly Demise, we want to play a bit differently. I'm just going to go ahead and make the Challenger here. Go to combat. See what they do. Gonna block there. This gives us more spells, but getting power on this is good. We assume they're going to sacrifice this. They could kill the etching, which stops them getting the trigger off of this. So I think this is fairly safe. Because if this gets to happen, at least do the other things. This is then building up for a kill next turn with the Sellsword. We'll see what they actually want to do here. So yeah, they're going to dispute it away. That way they do get the death trigger. They get the trigger from the Unlucky Witness as well. But we're hoping that it puts us in a good enough position. And then yeah, we do see the Jungle cards. They are on the black-green version of the sacrifice deck. Though no cat in the yard as of yet. Extra hot upper hearing on the bottom. We then have damage happen. They go to 8. And this becomes lethal this turn. If we just target this with the Carousel Sword, it becomes a 4/4. Gets 4 damage some of this, gets sacrificed, does 4 damage with the bottom ability as well. Unfortunately, there is attraction for that. This isn't the end of the world. Let's see what they mill here. If they like mill, you can mill Cauldron's Familiar, but without. It doesn't get to block very well. Just change the maths for us. And we see a cat. They have 1 extra mana right now. They can't level this up to 3. If they had, they're on the play actually. If they have land, okay, they're gonna kill the other one. Sure. They got an 8. Big Harbinger. Using the treasure here. Yeah, so they have second cat in the graveyard. They didn't. Okay, if they hit second cat, they could have used this land to level this up to 3, bring back the Ygra, and kill us. And in fact, that may well have happened because they got all the sacrifice triggers on the Scavenger's Talent. As is, we have to be a little bit more inventive. There's no nice to block. They have food. Blocking trades these away. We kind of have to. This is a sorcery. This is bearing in mind as well. This can cross a 2. The cat gets exiled, fortunately, thanks to the etching. Yeah, I think we did 1 off. We can either grab Gigantha or drop this into play. We can even sack this for 2 damage, but that's not really worth it. Next turn they do get to activate the 3rd mode here. Potentially bring back Ygra. The only concern. They're on 6. If we add Gigantha. There's ways we can get use the Burn Together ability to. The back half of this really doesn't exist really. Okay, so they're gonna sacrifice 3 permanents here, mill some more cards. So they can find another cat. If they find 2 more cats, it's kind of over. We are still dead. Now they have to choose what they're sacrificing. The way it works, the cat will come back and then they get the mill triggers. If they hit 2 cats off of this, we die. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. They hit no cats. Okay, reasonable. They have a 6/6 we can't really target. Sure. Might let me this. The other thing is obviously in this deck the food can just gain them the life. That's land number 5. Yeah, we're in a super tricky situation. This is blooded not food, so I can actually discard to this at a turn. I was thinking like, hey, do we just want to play this out here? We got this to make tokens. Everybody's taking life, but maybe we can get there anyway. Like if we're on that plan, I just have to hardcast this and pass up on the direct damage. There's a world where hey, we hit an untapped land, we slam the Gigantha this turn, but yeah, and then you use the Cell Sword to like get like a 5-point swing here. So, pretty tough. Immortal cards. Claim the Firstborn is good to see gone. We're just praying they don't hit here, basically. Mayhem Devil's pretty good, but they don't have anything to sacrifice currently. Got 2 cards in hand though. Like if these are anything, we're pretty toasty. What do we have? Dispute here. Let's them ping something for 1. They get to mill 2 cards. And make a treasure. It's only 1 damage, so it may as well go out my face. but maybe they get to... Oh, if they make enough non-land permanents, they can actually use the ability again. Because it says at the beginning of your end step, doesn't mean you get it once. The creature you bring back is a finality counter, but oh, they're just gonna sacrifice food. Gain life again, mill 2 cards. They hit 1 cat, but they've currently got nothing to bring it back into play with. Okay. We have to expect them to have something. We don't have a lethal attack with the down of the bugbear. We are unfortunately on autopilot right now. Excuse me. Hey, what makes a goblin? Unfortunately, this is food, so they can bring back with the cauldron. We can actually prevent pretty close to a lethal attack here, and again, if they flop another cat into the graveyard, you're just dead. Cat comes back. They get to loop these basically, because you can sacrifice the cat in the graveyard, right, the cat in play to bring the cat in the graveyard, rinse and repeat. This is unfortunately game over. Super close match there. Like if we need to like fade the firstborn, claim the firstborn like one more turn. But just super close to hitting a lethal, and they just about got there with the quadruple combo. We're gonna go ahead and keep this. If you're interested in that deck we just saw, I did just post a version with a video with Jund Sacrifice, and I also posted a video with the mono red version as well. Versus Brushland, I'm gonna play the Heartfire Hero first. We want to get as many triggers on this as possible. While we don't have anything currently, we can draw into it. It's like slightly advantageous over dropping the Swiss Spear. Even if Swiss Spear's a little bit, well, I was going to say it's a bit advantage to Guider. That's not like strictly true. We have Sellsword here, but actually, the cards we care about are red, and the removal in this deck is also exiling, so the claim's not going to do anything. There's a solid Swiss Spear in turn. I'm going to use this. Got to push the damage through. Cannot give the Angels deck time under any means. That's 13. Again, we're getting close to building a lethal Heartfire Hero. Didn't quite get there last time, but maybe this time we can get there. Ooh. Open attack. Alright, for a Valkyrie. That one's kind of interesting. Obviously this can block both of these. It's a case of whether they want to or not. And what they can afford to block. They're going to untap and gain a bunch of life here. I think we have to make a big bluff attack. Try and get them to take the damage and then untap. Yeah, okay, cool. We got a 7 here. Which is great. Because we can target a Heartfire Hero to deal damage to their face. And then the backside of it will finish them off. Alright. 2 very quick games and 1 bit slower loss. Again, 1 lander. We've not got enough stuff to do here to come close to justifying it. 1 lander again. This time we at least have a handful of 1-drops. I'm going to keep this, given the circumstances, and I am going to put kimonos on the bottom and be optimistic. We'll see how this goes. You can see there just how fast that can be. 1 mana for 8 damage is pretty good. Very, very solid. These are nice lands. Let's go back the other way. Oh no. We hit a land. We can make this as a 2/3. It's a little bit harder to kill. I think that makes sense. Red zone. There will be places when you're playing this version of the deck where if you have the kind of like sellsword combo, you can like find interesting ways to get lethal. That's fair. We don't have a way to give the Heartfire Hero haste, so I'm just kind of holding it. We can like hold this and then combo with it later while we kind of get in our regular game plan. Fine. We've seen 2 spells only from our opponent so far. Okay. Lightning Strike has kind of like faded off a little bit in terms of popularity as well, I'll say. Monos. Sure. I'll take a chunk of damage back. They're at 13. We are not all 3 Flora for lethal attack here. We're at 11 though. So the same can be true both ways. Swiss Spear into Mighty the Meek. We're gonna get a better start than that. Not really. If we hit a land for the monstrous raise, we're kind of in business. We get 2 shots at this as well. The thing to bear in mind. Okay. I don't think you can play this. I don't want to risk it. We'll do this. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 is not quite enough. Check my maths again. 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 12. We leave a blocker back. I'm not messing around, so right. No, this is Prout as well. I am done. This card has so much text on it. Alright. Good maths. Alright, a little embarrassing. You ever look at a problem and be like, something's not quite right. I'm making this calculation, I know something's not quite right, but that's me just there. No creatures is bad, we'll put that back. This will be the last match, I think. I'm gonna go ahead and keep this. It's also mulligan, which is interesting. I'm tempted. I think we have to put. I say have to put. I think I want to put a select shot back. Feels bad, but hey, I'm actually really impressed with Ember Heart Challenger. That's the whole thing wrong. Ember Heart Challenger. There we go. I'll lead on Cliffs over Den just because it could represent more stuff. But hey. Alright, feel better keeping the challenger now anyway. Go ahead and come in here. They're on red-green. If you're interested, I do have an Ataka red deck with Heartfire Hero that is very solid as well. Deck's very explosive. You can have Burning Tree Emissary turns, and there's even more Burning Tree Emissaries that you can play now too. And you can do things like this, which are pretty good. Yeah. So we're taking a lot of damage here. Are we dead? Not quite. I'm like, if we go Slick Shot. We need to do some weird blocking. They're on 14. If we get to untap with Slick Shot, we should be able to get lethal attack. We have 3, 4, 5. That should do damage though. I don't even know how many points they have. Alright, we go through our land anyway. 6, 7, 11. Yeah, I think we should attack with a Slick Shot. Because this presents lethal attack, like this way we can kind of try and guarantee that we live. Obviously everything looks worse if they kill a Slick Shot, but it would have done anyway, so I don't feel as bad. Eeny, meeny, might not want to block here. I block the Heartfire Hero, but because I don't think they're playing the... Oh god. And Ember Cleave is pretty great. But not quite lethal. Alright. go ahead and cast our spells. Hey, paid off. Post game, we went 4-1 overall. Had a tough loss, but a very close game there. But I could not recommend this deck more if you want to climb ladder. The one thing I will say is that it's not super interactive. There are 2 copies of Reckless Rage, and these are the only pieces of real interaction you have on the deck. However, I mean, in theory, you could Counterspell Sword to use it as a removal spell, and occasionally you'll be able to ping a couple of things off with Heartfire Hero, and that'd be pretty cool. But in general, like, hey, very, very linear aggro deck, but incredibly powerful and can kill very, very quickly, as we saw with the like Counterspell Shot, Heartfire Hero kind of combo. Really, really good. We didn't get to see any of the Dread Arcana stuff. That seems pretty cool. We didn't even really get to do much of the Claim Fames. They're ready for other matchups we didn't see. But hey, deck is super, super powerful. Would absolutely recommend, especially if you're trying to climb ladder quickly. I've got a couple more decks I'll cover before I get into Duskmoor stuff. Hopefully I'll get a chance to do those, and hopefully have a Duskmoor kind of like big exciting cards video coming out before the actual set drops. That's the plan anyway. But I know I'm away a little bit before then. If you're not already, please do like, subscribe, please, please, please share the video around. I would really, really appreciate that, and all the algorithm stuff as well. Helps me out a ton. And yeah, thanks for watching. Peace out. Have a great day.